Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And we're here in the Mortgage Syndicate this morning, and we're going to blast it off this morning with our very first masterclass on interest cancellation. And why is that important? Because for 89 years, we have been paying mortgages like this. It started in 1934, the amortization of 30-year loans. And for 89 years, we've been kept in the dark about how it works. And we're paying way too much interest. And the information that we do have on how to manage interest cost, the information we do have is faulty. It is all wrong. It's being fed to us in a way that causes us to pay 75 to 80% more interest than we need to. And it's actually being taught right now to individual home buyers and real estate investors is that interest cost is not something you need to worry about. Yeah. What they're saying is if you can get a loan at 4%, but you can invest your money at 7%, then you're better off just making the minimum payments on your house and investing that money so that you can get the 7 to 10% interest. I'm going to show you the numbers as to why that thinking is faulty. But I have a couple of guests. Ooh, I have Credit Goddess on the stage. Listen, folks, my moderators are here in force today, and we're going to bring them up and mod them. Yes, I'm sure. And there's something's going on with Clubhouse that when I bring you into my room, it says I'm not following you, but that's not true. I am following you. And then when I'm not here, when I'm not running the room, when I check to see, I'm following you. But when we're here, I'm not. So I don't know. What's going on. But I'm going to start out today with thanking Crystal, Coffee Brown, and Credit Goddess for being here. And Crystal, will you please go ahead and introduce yourself? We've got some fabulous information today.
Good morning, Mr. Dunn. Good morning to everyone in the room with us as well. And just for the record, it does show that you're following me. So it may not show on your side, but it does show on mine. So I heard about that glitch. I'm not sure what's going on with that.
I don't know either.
But it's all good. So good morning again. I'm Crystal Armstrong, based in Dallas, Texas, and I'm an independent escrow officer in the state of Texas. Also a serial entrepreneur. I own a luxury travel agency as well as a marketing consulting firm where I specialize in public relations and branding. So I'm glad to be here to talk about interest cancellation this morning with you. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. The Coffee Brown. Coffee Brown is off the phone. Good morning, Miss Coffee. How are you?
Listen, I was going to say, you cannot have a good cup of coffee without the coffee present with you. Come on, Don.
Come on now. Come on.
Sunday morning. We went to church yesterday.
Yes, we did go to church yesterday.
Yeah, I preached my trial sermon yesterday.
Ooh, wee.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Listen, you've been preaching in here for a while, so
yeah, I figured they test me out on Clubhouse first. Say we're not gonna make her no pastor till we see how she do in Clubhouse.
I got you.
Too funny.
All right, go ahead and introduce yourself to the folks, please.
Excited to be in the building. I am P. Coffee Brown. Excited. My girl Credit Goddess and my new friend Crystal is on the stage. Crystal looking like me with her hair all cute and fly. Credit Goddess always have on her crown at all times. And of course, the Right Reverend Dr. Ice is in the building. He always cold in these streets. Fantastic information, phenomenal panelists. I'm just honored to be in the building with such incredible beings. It's such an honor to be named amongst incredible beings. And it's so humbling. So Don, thank you so much for having all of us. We appreciate you. Let's go and get this class set off.
All right. Listen, thank you so very much. Credit Goddess, I see you are here bright and early. Talk to us. Tell us who you are and what you're doing.
Hey, everyone. Happy Sunday. Thank you so much for being here. It's the start of a new week, almost the end of the month, almost to February, where we're celebrating Black History Month. Are we going to have topics around that, Don? We should.
We should. We should.
Yeah, we
Thank
should.
you. Well, we should. We should.
We should. Hey, my name is Rosalore Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit, credit score improvement strategist, business credit consultant, NAV business loan broker, and an educator in the Be Free platform, where we teach people how to become debt free and financially free. With all the things from business to credit to taxes to Forex and all that good stuff. So that's what I do. So if any of you guys are interested, my information is in my bio. Check me out. Thank you, Don.
You are so welcome. You are so welcome. So listen, folks, I'm going to put something on this screen. I'm going to start out here so that you can understand what I'm talking about. And then we're going to build around that. If you want to see what I'm talking about, please go to YouTube. Go to YouTube on a secondary device. And when you get there, search P.I.L.L method and then click on the live. All right, click on the live, and we're going to be there to show you these numbers. And what I started out talking about is the false information that is out there right now about how we need to look at these loans. Now, I need you to keep in mind something I heard the other day. If you borrow money at 4%, don't worry about it, because that's cheap money. Okay, 4 or 5%. If that's cheap money, and because you can take your money and then earn 7, 8, 9, 10% if you invest it elsewhere. Okay. Okay. So now we're talking about earning money using compound interest. When you invest, you're getting compound interest, folks. And if you listen, I need anybody who wants to come to the stage and share what it is that they're talking about, what's on their heart. Please raise your hand. My moderators will bring you up. And I see Duncan has his hands raised. If my moderators can bring them up and at least invite them, that would be great. Okay, so what we're talking about, folks, is compound interest versus amortized interest. And I'm telling you, they are as different from each other as day is from night. If you're trying to compare compound interest with amortized interest, no, don't do it. Here's what you need to think about. Banks make amortized interest so they can pay you compound interest. Now, if that should tell you something. They're not making compound interest in order to pay you compound interest. They're making amortized interest. And it is way more powerful, way more lucrative. And then they pay you they pay you compound interest. Listen, folks, I need you to hear this very, very, very closely. I need you to log in to what we have to say this morning about this subject. But before we get in, Duncan, thank you for coming to the stage. Do you have a question or a comment before we get into this first example, while people are going to YouTube to see this example? Come on, sir. What's on your mind? Duncan, if you're there, go ahead and click on that mic in the lower right-hand corner. That way you can unmute yourself and speak. There you go. What's up, sir?
Oh, you can hear me, right?
Barely.
Okay.
Do you have Bluetooth on?
Yeah.
Yeah, you might want to take that off because we can't hear you.
Oh, okay.
All right. All right, try it now.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Most certainly. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you so much. And thank you for that direction, because if you didn't tell me to look at the lower right-hand corner, I wouldn't.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So you were asking like a real question.
Yes.
Right? And I guess like for me as a real person and stuff, like I wish I had the money to invest. Like right now, it's just like having like too many high interest credit cards, and then I'm like trying to stay afloat with that versus if I use that extra money to just like invest in stuff. Like how would someone that have um like okay in my position,
Uh-huh.
I kind of feel like I'm not like, I kind of feel like I'm the normal American.
Yep.
I'm Asian American, but I feel like this is like what most Americans go through, is that I'm literally getting raped by credit cards, and I'm just trying to stay afloat.
Okay.
I wish I could have extra money to invest and to make. So how do I get out of my position right
Let
now?
me ask you a question. Can you pay all of your bills every single month with your income? That's a yes or a no.
Right now, it was a yes, but like right now, it's a no.
Okay, so you can't cover even the minimum payments on all of your on everything that you owe with your current income.
Okay, yeah, I could cover the minimum, but
That's all
it's
I'm
a bit,
asking. That's all I'm asking.
but it's just the minimum, and then
I
I'm
understand
literally
that. You listen, you want
drowning
me to
in
help you?
minimum. Okay, okay,
Okay.
okay,
All
okay.
right.
Thank you for
So
that.
are you, hey, here's the next question. Are you paying more than the minimum on more than one card?
I I was doing that with one card. Um,
Okay, let me ask a question one more time. Are
yeah,
you paying more than the minimum on more than one card? Yes
not
or
more
no?
than one card.
Okay,
No,
okay.
I'm not.
All right. Were you doing that?
More than one card.
Yes, sir.
I was.
Okay. That's what was keeping you broke. Focus on one card, even if it's the wrong one. Focus on one and then pay
Mhm.
that one off. That's going to be the first thing that you do. Now, if you don't have my program, our program tells you exactly what to do and when with your income if you are able to pay all of your bills in 1 month with your income. If you cannot pay all of your bills in 1 month with your income, then there's only two things you can do, or
Okay,
maybe three. Number one,
okay,
you need to make more money. Number two,
that's a good one.
you need to lower your expenses. Number three,
Okay,
you need to do a combination of both. Okay.
yeah, okay. That was really good.
hmm So
Okay, yeah.
that's what you need to do to get started if you don't have a particular program. If you have a program that can analyze your situation and then tell you how you can minimize the amount of interest that you pay, because it's the interest on the debt that's keeping you broke, not the debt itself. It's the interest on the debt. So we need a
Okay,
plan that's going to maximize the amount of interest you can save.
right. That's true.
Okay. So why don't you hang out for a little while? If you can't hang out for the whole thing, okay, then the replays are on to answer some of these questions. But as we get into this thing deeper and deeper today, you're going to see what is happening with how banks make their money and how we can
Oh yeah.
undo it with
Oh yeah.
a
Trust
little
me,
bit of
I know
information.
how banks make their money. They make their money off of taking a. But the thing is, like, okay, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that banks make their money from taking advantage of people, but it's kind of messed up, you know. Like,
Well, here's the thing.
uh, the,
Have you
the
ever
worst,
have you ever
the
had a
worst.
class? Hold on for a second. Have you ever had a class on how banks make their money and how to defeat them at their own game?
No, I haven't.
Then that's
That
what you need. You need to know the rules of the game. And we are expected to
I
use
do.
credit cards, mortgages,
Mhm.
car loans, student loans without knowing the rules to the game. And today, you're going to get some insight to the rules to the game so that you can win the game. How's that, Duncan?
that'll be amazing. I think that's amazing. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like jump in and
Well,
just
sir,
like
here's what I need to do. I need to get started so
yeah,
you can
yeah.
start learning. How's that?
Oh, I'm ready to. I'm always a student. I'm ready to learn. Thank you
Uh,
for teaching.
all
Thank you
right.
for teaching.
All right.
Thank you for
So,
spreading this
so
knowledge.
listen, we're going to go ahead and get started, but thank you for coming to the stage, sir. You've been helpful more than you know.
Appreciate you. Likewise.
All right. All right, folks, we're going to go get started. And Mason, you're back. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. Just checking in, keeping up with you guys after our conversation this past Friday. So hope you guys are doing well.
All right. So listen, I'm going to use one example to get started, and we're going to blow some information out of the water right now. I need everyone in here to share the room and get some other people in here. Get some other people in here and listen closely to this first example because it flies in the face of everything we're being taught. And then we can start building on the basics. So I'm going to share this screen right now. So let me go ahead and get that. Share the screen. And there we go. The entire screen, not just part of it. There we go. And we're going to put that on. We're putting it on right now so that you can see it. I'm showing you what real estate investors are being taught right now about how they manage their properties. And then we can use that same information that I'm going to share with you. If you are a residential homeowner, you need to pay attention to interest cost, not just interest rate, but interest cost. All right. So thank you very much, Credit Goddess, for putting that up on the putting that up today. So if you go ahead and put up yeah, you put up my my YouTube channel. Thanks a lot. Okay, so here we go, folks. We are doing this right now. I need you to see that this is a loan of $1,488,906.65 at 5%. Number one, the interest rate you're quoted is not the interest rate you pay. So when somebody says you can borrow money at 5%, okay, and just pay the minimum on that, but then take your cash and then invest it and make 7, 10, 12, 15% with it, it sounds good. But this 5% is amortized. And we're going to show you a couple of things about amortized loans. Number one, with this loan, while you're trying to make money with your cash and invest it, here's what's happening behind the scenes. The bank wants on your $1,488,000 loan. Here's how much interest the bank wants: $1,122,000. So here's my question. Is this $1,122,000, is that 5% of the $1.488 million you just borrowed? That's the question. That's number one question, because this is what the so-called financial gurus are trying to tell you, that you're borrowing money at 5, then pay back the 5, and then invest your money to make 10. Then what they're telling you is that the difference is you just made 5% on your money. Okay, so so I got to go back to the question: is the $1,122,293 in interest that the bank wants, is that number 5% of the $1.488 million you just borrowed? And I need you to go ahead and come to the stage. If you're on the stage, you can chime out. All right. If you just want to put it in the chat, just put a yes or a no. All right. If you're following us online, put a yes or a no. So what's coming up? Oh, somebody said that. Yeah, that 5% is magnified. You better believe it, because if you look over to the right here, folks, if you look over to the right, total interest paid as a percentage of principal is 75.377%. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Since 2015, when you close on a loan, this number is actually given to you. And I got somebody on the stage that actually knows that for sure. Miss Crystal, are you able to talk to the people this morning?
Yes, I am.
All right. Now, 3 days before we close on a loan, a mortgage, or a refinance, do the people get disclosures?
They do.
They do. And on that disclosure, do they get the information on what their interest rate actually is?
Yes, they do.
And do they have this exact sentence in their paperwork that says total interest paid as a percentage of principal, 75.377% if they have a similar loan?
Yes.
So now people know that their loan is not 5%. Now they know that their loan is 75%. So while you're out in following the gurus and they're telling you invest your money so you can make 7, 10, 15%, well, you're fighting uphill because now you have to overcome paying 75% of what you borrowed to make money. So if you're trying to make money at 10, but you're paying out 75, is that a losing proposition? What do you all think? Come on now.
It is, but very few people read that page because it's not at the front, it's in the middle.
Come on. And Crystal, how do you know it's in the middle? How do you know that?
Because I've actually read every document in a mortgage, and I probably only had over 6.5 years and thousands of mortgages completed. Maybe I've had 20 people ask me about that.
Okay, so what put you in a position to even know any of this, please?
Well, I am a licensed escrow officer in the state of Texas, and I'm also certified as a signing agent, which means so an escrow officer is a disinterested third party between the lender and the borrower, and I also service the title company by executing the closing. So I have to have knowledge of the documents because I need to answer questions at closing, and I also have to ensure that the borrower signs their signature as it's printed on the document as well as date, because they are agreeing to multiple disclosures and affidavits that they understand what they are providing and they are committing to this mortgage, whether it is a 10-year to 30-year term.
So
And they
now,
agree to pay it back as listed on that closing disclosure.
so now what we just heard you say is that in the 6 years you've done thousands of these. And out of the thousands, how many have you worked with that actually read what they are signing?
So I've had countless read, but the ones who actually question the portion of the closing disclosure that reads where they'll be paying the larger interest percent, and it actually gives them the total cost of the loan if they take the full term and make regular monthly payments as scheduled.
Wow, wow, wow. So here's what I'm saying, folks. The people who are telling us this is, listen, just make the minimum payment and you'll make more money by investing your money instead of trying to save interest over here. Now, let me give you just the advice. Now, this is not what I'm getting ready to explain, not my program. My program is different. But I'm getting ready to explain to you how interest cancellation actually works. And then we're going to build on that foundation. And I'm going to give you something to think about. Now, again, I am not explaining to you what to do. I'm explaining what happens when you do something similar. My program gives you exact information and exact numbers and exact dates as to what to do and when, so that you can optimize your interest savings per dollar. But just keep this in mind for now. I need to show you what is happening with this loan. And with this loan, when you make the first payment, $2,500 goes to principal, $6,203.78 goes to interest every month. Now, every month you pay a little less interest and a little more principal. So the idea for real estate investors is to get equity. Okay, so now let's find out what you're paying for equity. So the difference when you're getting equity, and I'm glad Mason is here because I believe, Mason, you were telling me that your mom is a real estate agent.
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. So you might want to make sure that she sees this replay. So folks, here's what we're talking about. The equity is the difference between what I owe on the property and what it's worth. When I make this payment, I just lower the balance on my loan, so I don't owe as much. I just lowered my balance by $2,500, which means I have $2,500 in potential equity. But how much did it cost me in interest to get that equity? We have to take a look at what it costs to do something. I just gave the bank $6,203.78 in interest to get that equity. So, Credit Goddess, if you are with us this morning, is that too much money to pay for this equity? You know, because listen, Credit Goddess is working in the background. Says, don't be calling me and let me run across the room, Don.
I was just about to walk out the door. I had to move the car.
Okay.
What was the question? I'm sorry. What was the question?
The question is, we're talking about getting equity, $2,500 in equity, but we have to pay $6,203 in interest to get it. Is that too much money to pay for that much?
That's way too much money.
All right. So that's something that we need to consider. And with the people that you've worked with over the past few years, Credit Goddess, in helping them to establish their credit, reestablish credit, do your people understand this? And is it hurting them not to understand it?
No, they don't understand it, and it's truly hurting them. Not knowing, especially those that just make the bare minimum and not understanding how their payments are not decreasing. And I know many of you guys in the audience right now are like, I make a $300 payment towards my loan, and I don't know why the balance is almost like the same. Like I never tackled the balance down. Is because of the interest costs. You're being charged interest on the remaining balance every single month. And we can do the calculation later on how that works. But yeah.
All right, Credit Goddess. Thank you. So listen, move the car. Come on back. We need you. All right. So here's what we're talking about. We need you to know that this is what's going on behind the scenes, how much interest is actually being paid each and every month. And I'm going to show you the math as to why they're doing it so you can understand even deeper. This is the P.I.L.L Method Masterclass on interest cancellation being done in the mortgage syndicate this morning. And I'm glad that you are here with us all. And if you are new to the room, or even if you're a returning member to the room, go ahead and tell us where you're from. Tell us where you're from, folks. And listen, if you want to make, if you want to say anything at all about what we're talking about, raise your hand, come to the stage. This is an open forum. We need your input. Okay? So now, go ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, what do you need? Duncan?
Oh, I was gonna ask you. Can I ask your opinion right now?
If it's about what, because I don't want to lose my flow on my example that I'm giving now.
Oh yeah. So how can someone that is, I guess like for me,
Mm-hmm.
how can someone like me get out of debt and then start building equity? Because I'm first generation American
Mm-hmm.
in the U.S. And I want to change my lineage.
All right. Did you hear that, folks? He wants to know how this works. Duncan,
Yeah.
can you? Are you at a position so that you can see these examples on another screen, like a laptop or a like an iPad?
Okay, so that's the thing. I'm like, I had a computer, but I was trading stocks, and then it broke down, and then I'm like, it cost like $500-600 to fix, and
I
I'm
got
like,
you. The
I don't
answer
have
to
it.
the answer to the question, Duncan, was no.
Oh, yeah, no. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you for
Duncan, here's
helping
what
me.
I got 2 hours to be here. So I'm
Okay,
going to ask some questions. You got to give me a short answer so I can keep moving.
okay.
Okay.
So the answer is no.
All right. So now you need to listen and then watch the replay so that you can see these numbers. All right. Because I guarantee you it's going to be over the head the first time you hear it. But as you watch it over and over again, it will become crystal clear. How does that sound?
It sounds good, but I'll admit it. When you guys were talking numbers earlier,
Yeah.
I'm an artist.
Right.
So when I hear numbers, it really just flies through my head. And
And
then,
that's why you need to watch it over and over again. Okay.
okay.
All right, sir. All right, let's get going, folks. Here's what we're doing. So, what we're talking about, folks, is what is happening every time you make a payment. Now, in 1 year, I need to show you something. In 1 year, and we're going to link, if you're watching this online, we are taking a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. That is all the principal you pay down in 1 year following the bank's program, and all the interest you pay in 1 year following the bank's program. And here it is. Cumulative principal, you pay this loan down by $30,699.86. That's how much you pay down in principal. That is the amount of equity you've just received, $30,000. But how much interest did you pay to get it? Look here, $73,748.14. If you are a real estate investor and you're renting out this commercial property and you're making money, I mean, you're making really good money with the rents coming in. All right. You're making about $15,000 with the rents coming in, and your payment is only $87.04 each month. Listen, that is pretty good cash flow. What the experts are telling you is if you can make this kind of cash flow, then don't worry about anything else because your tenants are paying the bill. Your tenants are paying the bill. Don't pay attention to the interest cost. Let me tell you how dangerous that is. And here's something that you need to clip or write down. Money that you could have made that you didn't make should be considered a loss. I'll repeat that one more time. Money that you could have made that you didn't make should be considered a loss. Watch this while I make that clear to you. Now we're going to go back down to this part right here. So it costs $73,000. Over $73,000 to get $30,000 in equity. So, folks, when you add these two together, that's $104,000 that you have been given by your tenants. If this is your building, your tenants gave you $104,000 in 1 year. And what do you have to show for it? $30,000 in equity. Real estate investors, residential homeowners, if somebody gives you $104,000 in 1 year and all you have to show for it is $30,000 that you can actually benefit from, is that the kind of transaction you want to continue to make? I need you to put that in the chat. Yes or no. Yes or no. Is that the kind of information? Is that how you want to run your business? Okay. Duncan says, no. She said, Vonda says no. Vonda says, no, that's not what we want to do. What about you folks online? What about you folks online that are watching? Is this how you want to to run your business where somebody gives you $104,000 and all you have left is $30,000 to show for it? Oh my gosh. If you want to know what to do about this, I'm going to give you something that is simple to do. It's not what we do here at the P.I.L.L method, but you need to understand how these loans work. If you want to know how this loan works, put a number 9 in the chat right now, whether you're online or in Clubhouse. Number 9, if you want to learn what to do to counteract this. And I'm going to show you what you need to do as this is the basics of interest cancellation. Stacy says yes. Vonda says 9. Crystal puts a 9 in the chat. You all want to know what's going on, and I need you to watch this. If you're new to the room, go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method, and click on the live on a secondary device. You need to go there to see the numbers. It makes all the difference in the world if you can see the numbers. This is actually a client of mine. And what I mentioned to him is this. He said, okay, number one, folks, he told me that the majority of the $15,000 that's coming in from this building, okay, the majority of that, he wants to put into reinvesting. He wants to reinvest his money. So the first thing real estate investors talk about is, Don, how are you saving money and paying off these loans faster? Would it make more sense to invest that money that we're being given instead of paying down this loan? And I say, continue to invest at the rate you've always invested. I'm going to repeat this. I don't want the money you're using to invest that you're getting from your rents. I don't want it. I don't need it. So if anybody says that this is what we're doing here at the P.I.L.L method, we need to make it very clear that I'm not using the monies that the real estate investors are using to get to the money that they're getting, and we're not using the money that they're supposed to invest. And they're making plenty of money by continuing to invest in other properties. We're not using that money. But every real estate investor I know, this is just one thing you can do amongst many. Okay. What if this real estate investor has some money set aside that they are using to do repairs and maintenance on their building? Repairs and maintenance on their building. Okay. All right. So now out of that money, all right, they're taking about $2,000 a month and just putting it aside. $2,000 a month and putting it aside. All right. Can you imagine what you could do with with that money that's sitting in the bank waiting for something to go wrong? All right. So now this particular real estate investor has several buildings. Several buildings. And out of all the buildings they have, they're putting away $6,000 a month in a reserve fund. And there's over $100,000 in that fund. Over $100,000 in that fund. And they're putting $6,000 a month out of all the money that they're bringing in. Now, between their buildings, they're bringing in over $50,000 a month on these buildings. And when you add up all the mortgage payments, it comes to about $14,000. $14,000 in mortgage payments. All right. And they're bringing in over $50,000 a month. Ooh, that's good. And they're reinvesting most of it right away, but they're putting $6,000 a month in a fund so that they can do repairs and maintenance. That's the setup. So I asked this real estate investor, when you're taking a look at line 12 on your amortization schedule, you're paying this loan down by $30,000 when you add it all up. Here's what I asked. Do you have to give the bank this money, the $30,000 to pay this loan down with? Do you have to give it to them in 12 monthly installments? Do you have to give it to them at $2,500 and $2,600 at a time? And they said, no, I could, if I, if I wanted to, I could give them the $30,699 at one time. If you did, would you be paid down to line 12 in just 1 month? And they said, yes, I would. And if you're paid down to here in just 1 month, and we pay interest based on the month in balance every month. So you're here in 1 month. So that means you don't have to pay any interest on the payments from line 2 to line 12. No interest payments. That saves 11 $6,000 payments. In fact, they just saved, if you do that, you're paid down to here in 1 month and save $67,661.37 in interest you don't have to pay. Is that better than what the experts are telling you to continue to let the tenants pay this down? All right. And don't pay attention to your interest cost. Just take all the money and invest it. Don't pay any attention to this. Does that make sense to you now that you see what's really going on behind the scenes? So I'm still paying down the $30,000, but it didn't cost me $73,000 to do this. It only cost me $6,203.78. Friends of mine, if you're going to get $30,699.86 in equity, would you rather pay $6,200 to get it or $73,000 to get it? As a real estate investor, does it make sense, even though the tenants are paying the bill, to take $73,000 of the $100,000, of the $104,000 that they just gave you, to give it away to the bank willy-nilly and not even worry about it? So what happens to the $67,000 that you just gave the bank, that you didn't have to give the bank? Remember that quote I gave you at the beginning? Money that you could have made that you didn't make should be considered a loss. So if I can pay down to here in 1 month and save $67,000 in overall interest I don't have to pay. So here's what just happened. The bank wants $1,122,000 in interest from me. I just lowered that amount by $67,000 that the bank will never get. Is that awesome or what? So if I can save that money to get the same equity, does that mean eventually I could invest the $67,000 that I didn't give the bank and make some compound interest with that $67,000 I did not have to give the bank? And if I gave it to the bank, it makes it impossible for me to make money with that money. Money that you could have made that you didn't make should be considered a loss. I don't want to make money just on the front end from the rents. I want to make money on the back end as well with the interest I did not have to pay the bank. Oh my gosh, folks, is this making sense to you? All right, let me see what the people are saying in the back here. Okay, Duncan says, if I was a local bank, I'd love to. Come on. Anybody else got any comments for me? Do we have any people in the audience raising their hands wanting to come to the stage? All right. If you want to come to the stage, do that. Raise your hand right now and learn what the experts are telling you, because I'm telling you everything that you know. Keep this in mind. Practically everything you know right now about lending, interest cost, and investing using somebody else's money, most of it is completely wrong. We just heard it over and over and over again. Even those who are teaching it, okay, don't know that it's wrong and they feel confident in telling us this information. Why? Because no one has ever challenged it before. It sounds right. It's been said over and over again for years. We just assume it's right without looking at the numbers. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're getting financial advice on investing or whether it's real estate investing or whatever it is, on how to manage your loans, if you're getting any advice and whoever you're getting the advice from is not showing you the numbers, don't you believe it. I don't care how many times you've heard it. Don't believe it if they're not showing you the numbers. All right. So now here's what just happened. I just told this real estate investor if he take $30,000 out of his reserve fund, all right, $30,000 out, and apply it to the loan in 1 month, he's paid down to line 12 on his amortization schedule in 1 month. His next mortgage payment next month is actually on line 13 of this amortization schedule. He goes from payment number 1 to payment number 13 in 1 month by giving the bank the $30,000 early. Now, what happens next? What if he wanted to wait to build up his reserve fund again? What if he wanted to wait? So if he's putting $6,000 a month into that fund, folks, I need you to do the math. If he's putting $6,000 a month into that fund, how long is it going to take him to pay himself back his $30,000? How long? Does anybody know? Give me the numbers. How long is it going to take him to pay himself back 30 grand if he's putting in $6,000 a month? Come on, let me see it. All right. Lorraine Dupree says 5 months. 5 months it's going to take. So in 5 months, Lorraine, could he actually, so that means 5 months, he's just going to make minimum payments. 5 months is just going to make minimum payments. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. 5 months is going to make minimum payments. And on the next, so now that he has $30,000 back on payment number 18, he could put another 30 grand on, couldn't he? And kill another year off this loan and save another 60 grand in interest he doesn't have to pay. So folks, here's what I need you to understand. Here's what I need you to understand is this. Gaining equity is the key to this game. Gaining equity at a much lower interest cost is absolutely phenomenal and should not be overlooked. So if we could do that every 5 months, every 5 months, put 30 grand on, okay? Guess what happens? Every 5 months, in 20 months, in 20 months, that means that they could have over $150,000 in equity in just 20 months. $120,000 in equity in just 20 months. If we do it the bank's way, I want to show you how long it takes to get $120,000 a month and following the advice of the financial gurus who are telling you, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You're making plenty of money on the front end. Don't worry about it because the tenants are paying the bill. How long does it take you get $120,000 worth of pay down on this loan? Let me show you something. It takes 44 months to do that. 44 months to do it. And how much interest? $262,000 in interest to pay this loan down by $120,000, and it takes $262,000 of your hard-earned dollars just paid to interest. I just need somebody to tell me, does this make financial sense? What the gurus are telling us about how to run our real estate empire. Giving the bank $262,000 in 44 months just to pay it down by $120,000 when I could be there in about 20 months and pay less than half of the interest that the bank was looking for. Lord have mercy. We need to start looking at this thing and stop letting people tell us how to run this thing without them showing us the numbers. So if somebody has this advice, make them show you the numbers, folks. Make them show you the numbers. Avonda says the hustle is real. You better believe it. The hustle is extremely real. And this is why we're teaching this today. Now, let me show you. Now we can get into some of the basics. Credit Goddess says she's back. Okay. Now we can get into the basics. Okay. I'm going to show you two different ways what the bank is doing. Because this is part of the masterclass. You need to know what they're doing so that you can undo it. We're going to show you two different ways to do this calculation to figure out how much interest the bank is charging you and how they come up with the numbers. And Credit Goddess is back. Okay. All right. Dion says, boom. Come on, Dion. That's what we're talking about. Vonda says it makes sense. All right. Listen. So if all of this makes sense, Credit Goddess, can you just do a little math for us and teach us what's going on? And I can actually put it on the screen. All right. And while you're getting set up, I want to ask Miss Wanda a question. Miss Wanda, you came to the stage. They brought you up. Do you have a question or a comment this morning?
I brought her up. She's an amazing woman. Hey, Wanda.
Hello. My apologies for the delay. I was on the phone. Good afternoon. Thank you for the invite to the stage, Rose. Hello to the other beautiful people who are here. Ice, you man. That's all I got to say. Every time I hear you talk, I'm thinking, yes, Ice. Wherever Ice is, it's always a cold group of information, and I love it. Thank you so much. Did you want me to say something else, ma'am?
Listen, Miss Wanda, listen, she brought you up for a reason. There's got to be a reason.
Okay, yes.
Talk to us. So you got something for us.
I do. So I am the owner of the Reset Villages Independent Living Centers. Also, I'm the founder of the Power of Help, which is also a housing organization. So across the country right now, there are several issues with housing, just a crisis, and just the information that you're giving out for people who really need to understand what it means to buy and purchase right now in the environment that we're in. So my apologies, I got a call. I am in the process of looking for homes nationwide. When I started this process, Ice, and to the team on the stage, I just wanted to do one or two houses. I'm currently in the city of Tampa. Within about a month, I started getting calls from across the country: California, Texas, Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee, and Virginia, and just this past week, Maryland. What's very important for people to understand is to listen to what you're saying when it comes to how to get this done, so we can start purchasing up some of the properties and helping. The housing crisis isn't going anywhere, and people individually buying homes, for those who just aren't ready to do it, might be a challenge. But if we get together and learn the tactics and some of the information that you give us, Brother Ice, I think that we'll be successful, and I think we'll be able to save a lot of the money so that we can put it back into possibly purchasing more homes. So that is who I am. It is what I do. And I'm definitely continuing to listen to what you're saying about how to purchase homes. Unfortunately, I've had at least several because of the way my business is scaling. I can't seem to purchase homes fast enough. So that is who I am. That is what I do. I'll be happy to help anyone to learn how to do it, get into the business, and to definitely be successful at doing. I'm partnered with several social service agencies, so a lot of the money that I've had to use has not had to come out of my pocket. I've learned what to say and what to do when I walk into those rooms, and I normally walk out with checks in my pocket.
Come on now. Come on, Miss Wanda. Thank you so much for being here today. But folks, let me tell you something. What she's talking about is real. What she's talking about is true. I need you to focus in on this one thing. You're getting good information here. It is the best information you're going to get on how to borrow money at a discount. No one else is doing this. No one else is talking about this. In fact, my book is the only book on Amazon that you can use as a textbook for this. No other book talks about how much interest you can save on and how to read an amortization schedule and give you the basics of the tools you will need to run your own personal finances or your business finances if you're using bank loans. It is critical that you get this book. We're going to put that book up on the screen right now, and so that you can see, please go to my card. We're going to put my card up top, ice10k.com. ice10k.com. Let's go ahead and get that done. So moderators, if you could put that up there for me, ice10k.com, and go ahead, folks, and get the book. You can go to Amazon and search it. Get the book today and use it as your textbook in understanding what this is all about. Okay. If you want to be part of this masterclass going forward, this is the only free masterclass we're going to do for a very long time. So take advantage of it. Get the book. Start learning what this is all that what we're talking about. And I guarantee you that you won't find anyone else talking about this anywhere on this app. You'll hear a lot of the other information about what you should do, but nothing that is going to make you or save you as much money as this information you're getting today. Start right away and getting a better understanding about your money, and stop giving all of your money away to the bank. Now, somebody says here, Miss Ann says, it makes the bank look suspect. Miss Ann, here's the thing. Everything that I'm talking about that the bank is doing to us is right there in black and white. It's not hidden. It's just misunderstood. So what we're talking about, I love the bank. I don't think the bank is suspect. Listen, the bank is a business entity. The bank is not your friend. The bank is a business, and they have a product and they rent money. So we can learn how to rent that money at a discount, a severe discount. And there's no way to get a bigger discount than using the P.I.L.L method. So folks, get the book. In fact, I've got enough people in here right now. Go ahead and keep sharing the room. If you get the paperback today, all right? And you send me either, now you can use my 10K card, all right? And there is a button marked number 3. Once you get the book, you'll get a receipt from Amazon. You can use the button marked number 3, give me your information, and upload your receipt. Send me a screenshot of that receipt. All right. And when you put your information in, make sure your address is in there. And guess what you're going to get? You're going to get 2 books. You're going to get the paperback from Amazon. And then I'm going to have my staff mail you a signed copy of my book so you can get 2. Okay. I'm going to give you a signed copy of my book. So you're going to get a 2-for-1 so that you can start learning this stuff. So listen, we're giving you this masterclass for free. If you want to get the book that is going to help you to understand it better as you rewatch this, as you rewatch the replay, get a second book for free that is signed by me. There you go. That's what we're doing today. And listen, this offer ends at midnight tonight. Don't send anything after midnight tonight and expect to get the free offer. Okay. I'm giving you a book signed by me for free if you will buy one today from Amazon. And I want to make it very clear. Because I have a digital book on Amazon and I have the paperback. This offer does not extend to the digital book, only the paperback. Okay. There you go. Thank you so very much. All right. Midnight, whatever time zone you're in, Credit Goddess. So I listen, midnight, whatever time zone you're in. All right. And I'll know what time zone you're in because you're going to put your address in. So I'll know what zip code you're in. Okay. There you go. There you go. So that's what we're going to do. Thank you so very much. So Credit Goddess, are you ready? Are you ready for us today?
I am.
Listen, folks, these folks need to know. These folks need to know what's going on. How can we come up with a strategy or understanding this? How can we have a masterclass on what the bank is doing without knowing the math they use to make all this money? Is it possible?
It is possible.
Okay. I mean, it's possible to know, but is it possible for us to come up with a strategy to combat them without knowing what they're doing?
Of course.
Okay. So let's go ahead and give them the information that they need so that we can start reading how to learn how to read this. And I'm going to put my calculator on the screen so they can see what you're talking about. All right.
All right.
So,
okay. So
go
if
ahead.
you guys are not watching live, for those visual learners, definitely tap on the link at the top. Join us on YouTube so that way I can show you how they're charging you interest, where to locate that amortization on the amortization table, how much you're paying towards interest and how much is going towards principal. That way you can put this strategy together. Okay, so I'm going to break those numbers down. So that way you can fully understand it. Yes.
Something is broken. Credit Goddess. I got 39 people in here. I got 14 shares. Folks, please, if you think this information is valuable, I got to have more than 14 shares. Get it out there for the folks. Click on the link because I can check the insights. Click the little button and share it out so other people can learn what Credit Goddess is going to teach you right now. So, folks, I'm not going to hold it up. I'm not going to hold you hostage. I just need you to go ahead and share it. And on the honor system, Credit Goddess, will you please proceed?
Sure. Okay, so I'm going to break down the numbers for you guys so that way you can see for yourself. And if you're watching on YouTube, you'll actually follow me and see these numbers. Now, I was a math whiz in school. I loved math. And when I would teach people about credit and the number one question I would get a lot is about the interest rate. And a lot of people have this fear about an interest rate. And you know what, Don?
What's that?
I had someone that called me a couple of days ago, and he was like, I just want to know, like, I bought for Christmas, during Christmas, I spent about $12,000. And my wife told me if I don't pay the $12,000 up front, no, I'm sorry, not $12,000, $7,500. If I don't pay the $7,500 off by next month, the bank is going to add $2,500 on top of what I owe, and I will find a $10,000 bill. Is that true? And I said, no.
Okay.
I said, no, let me do the math. I said, you're only going to be spending $118 in $118.
What?
Yeah, that next month. And he was like, oh, I wish I had called you first. I would have saved all that money. I mean, I don't mind paying the interest, but I want to break it up into payments. I didn't want to put all of my $7,500 at one time. So when I did the math for him, he was like, oh my gosh, it would have just been $118. I'm like, yeah.
Folks, I'm going to do something similar for you in just a few minutes, but Credit Goddess is going to give us the basics to build on. Okay, this
Yes.
is the P.I.L.L method. Interest cancellation masterclass being done in the mortgage syndicate. And if you're not a member of the mortgage syndicate, go ahead and click the link. Click that greenhouse at the top, join the mortgage syndicate. And if you click on my bio, you can find the P.I.L.L method and the P.I.L.L method house. Join both so that you can continue to get this kind of quality information. Okay, so go ahead and let's get started.
Okay. So how much is the property that we're looking at? What's the total? I can't see it on the screen.
Oh, you can't see it? The total,
No.
the total is 1,488,906.65. And can you see? I'm going to scroll down. Can you see the principal balance on line 1? The principal balance on line 1 is 1,486,000.
I see it.
There you
All
go.
right. So we're going to start from that point.
There you
Okay.
go. Okay.
All right. Okay. So if you guys are looking at the screen, the monthly payment is, which is the monthly payment?
8704.
8704.
Yep, 8704 is the monthly payment.
Ooh, wee.
Yeah.
8704.
Well, this is a this is a commercial building.
Okay. Oh, it's a commercial building. Okay.
Yes.
I thought it was a home.
No.
Woo, woo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So what we're gonna do, the way that you want to calculate this is that you're gonna take the principal balance, the principal that was borrowed, which is $1,486,406.43. Okay. The monthly payment is $8704. We want to find out how much we're paying in interest on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the $1,486,406.43. You're going to type that in the calculator?
I'm typing it in as you speak.
Okay. So that is the principal balance. Okay. Now we're going to calculate it by the interest cost. What's the interest cost?
The
interest.
I'm
sorry, not the interest cost. What's the interest rate?
The interest rate is 5%.
Okay. So we're going to multiply that by 5%. Okay. 5% of the principal balance. You're being charged 5%, and that's your APR. APR stands for annual percentage rates. Okay. A lot of times we tend to focus so much on what we're paying for the year, when indeed we need to find out what we're paying for the month. Because if you paid it off in 3 months, then you're not really paying the interest for the year. And I'm going to do that. Let's do that. Multiply that. Oh, there you go. So is that it?
I did. Yep, I did it by 0.05.
Okay, so this is what you would have paid in interest. Say if you paid that 1.4 million in a year, that's what you would have paid for the year, 74,000 in interest. But we want to find out what we're paying for the month, so we're going to divide that number by 12. So divide that by 12.
Okay, just did it.
Okay, so let's move the calculator over. So 6193. Okay, so you guys see the interest, 6193. Actually, rounded off. Oh, there you go. On the second line, if you guys see the second line, you see 6193.36. That is what you're paying in interest after you paid your monthly payment, 8704.
So credit goddess, after we make that first payment, okay, after we make the first payment, then we have a balance of 1,486,406.43. This is what the bank does to figure out how much interest we owe on line 2.
Yes,
and
exactly.
So we paid interest on the very first amount that we borrowed. We're going to pay interest on this line 1, and the bank then turns around and says, oh, after you do that, we're going to charge you interest again on line 2. And which is going to give us, now watch this, folks, when you have a principal balance on one line, the interest cost on the next line is due to what you pay on the line before it. The line before it dictates how much interest you pay on the next line. All right. It doesn't take a whole lot of math to get that, but that's what's going on. And so, credit goddess, What does that mean? What does that mean? Because we paid interest on this line. What does that really mean to us?
We pretty much rented the money, and that's how much it cost us for renting that money.
What?
Yeah.
And they get away with charging us monthly for that?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. So this is a 300-month loan, Credit Goddess. 300 months, not 360, 300. Are you telling me that they didn't take the $1.4 million and then somehow multiply it, the whole thing, by 5% and come up with a number?
No.
They're charging me every single month for 300 months?
Yep.
So every month is a new mortgage.
Every month is a new mortgage.
Lord have mercy. I thought I was getting one mortgage and they sold me 300 mortgages.
Nope. Now, see, if the banks made it clear to everyone that, hey, the payment that you're making every month is just a minimum payment, just like how we're making minimum payments on our credit cards. The difference is that credit cards are revolving and the balance always going to change depending on how much you put towards that to pay it down. You know, we learned that you want to keep the balance low so that way it doesn't affect your credit score because they score you based on how much credit you have left. But when it comes to term loans, it's a fixed payment and it has an expiration date. So the payments that you're making towards your loan is just the minimum payment, but we tend to stay at that amount until it's paid off because they say, we give you 300 months to pay us back. So in our minds, we're thinking that, okay, so they gave us the money and we have 300 months to pay it back. I got it. But we're not incorporating the interest cost of renting that money every single month.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Listen, can I talk about something that you just talked about a little while ago, Credit Goddess? Because we see now how the bank is charging interest on this loan. But before we get started, we brought two more moderators to the stage. I got Eric and I've got Kirk the Bank Barnes that just showed up. Eric Haras, how are you doing today, sir?
Good morning. Good morning. A little late to the dance here. We're working hard, and every day is game day where I'm from. You guys are doing your thing. And Don, you know, I tune in and turn up because, you know, like Mark Day says in the creed, we give it 100. Don't know what the minimum means. Let's get to work.
Come on. I appreciate that. Kirk the Bank Barnes is also here. Kirk, where are you in the world, man? What's going on with you?
Still stuck in Mississippi, man. Still stuck in Mississippi.
So, listen, I'm glad that you're here. Because what we just went over, all right, is the advice that the experts are telling us on every stage on Clubhouse and in online, if you in YouTube and YouTube University, that if you're a real estate investor, you do not have to pay attention to how much interest you're paying. Why? Because your tenants are paying the bill for you. All right. And we just pointed out that in the first year on this loan that I have on the screen, that the tenants have given this real estate investor $104,000 in just 1 year, but all they have to show for it is $30,000. We just did the math to find out that they're charging us $6,000 a month every single month starting out on this loan. Okay, because of how an amortization schedule actually works. Now, here's the kicker, everybody. Here's the kicker. The real estate gurus are telling you, why pay attention to this? Because you borrowed the money at 5%, but then you can take your money and invest it and make anywhere from 8 to 15%. And we pointed out that this isn't when you have a 5% mortgage, this kind of mortgage, 5% ain't 5%. 5%, actually, the bank turns it into 75% because of how they do an amortization schedule. So when you have those experts talking to you about borrowing money at 5% and then putting your money to work at 15%, they're comparing and contrasting amortized interest with compound interest. And we have been told that when you have a mortgage, it's actually compound interest when it is not. It is amortized interest because you pay interest every single month on the unpaid balance. It is a huge amount of money. I want to thank you, everybody, for being here. And I got Triple M on the stage. Triple M, talk to us this morning. Where are you from, and do you have a question or comment? Oh, Triple M, and if you're speaking, click that little, there you go.
Oh, good morning, Eric. This is Dr. T. My account was hacked and manipulated, so I came up with MMM, Money Mastermind.
All right,
I'm gonna
sir.
activate this one. Just support you guys. I love you.
All right. Thank you so much for being here and being supportive, sir. I appreciate it. So, folks, here's what we're doing. We just, Crystal, I'm sorry, Crystal, Credit Goddess pointed out to us that somebody had been giving bad information about their credit card debt. And they didn't know how to figure it out. Can I go over just an example? All right, just an example. And I want to show you something that is very powerful. Do not listen to the experts on this one either, because it is totally wrong. I have heard people on this stage, okay, on Clubhouse, that they never pay credit card interest, ever. Do you know one person who says they never pay credit card interest? Mr. Grant Cardone. Mr. Grant Cardone never pays credit card interest. He says, because it's just too expensive. He says, I pay that off. Do you know that Mr. Grant Cardone uses bank money to borrow to pay for some of his projects in the multiple millions of dollars? Let me show you something here that you need to think about, folks. I'm going to put let's go ahead and put another tab. If you're new to the room and you want to see these numbers, okay? Like, remember what I told you. If we say it over and over and over again, it sounds right. It sounds like a good idea, but it's actually hurting you. This old information about how loans actually work is actually hurting us because we're paying more interest than we need to. Here's what I need you to see. We're going to put in a $10,000 balance on a credit card that's 27%. All credit cards are amortized over 240 months. Okay. And now we're going to take a look. I need you to see what let me see here. We're going to take this out. Okay. I left the payment in there. Sorry. Okay. I need you to see this. Boom. How much interest we're paying. $225. Okay. Folks, here's what I'm telling you. If I have a credit card at 27% and I owe $10,000, okay, every expert out there will tell you that 27% interest rate is way more than the 5% or 4% or even the 6% interest you're paying on your mortgage. You need to get rid of that credit card interest. You need to get rid of that credit card balance right now. Right now. And I need you, listen, I need everybody in the room. To tap in on this one. Okay. If you had a 27% interest rate on a credit card, how would that make you feel? At 27%, how would that make you feel? I come on, folks.
Listen, a lot of people like, oh my gosh, I don't want that credit card with that high interest rate.
Okay. Because we're taught that. Folks, if somebody tells you often enough that 27% is high, it's too much, you're going to believe it. All right.
But you know what, Don?
Yes. Talk to me.
I just did the explanation of how to break down and how to know what you're paying on interest costs. So many people are focused on the front end, but they're not focused on the back end.
This is what we're talking about. They're focused on the front end and not the back end. Where, see, if I'm focused on the front end, okay. So what makes magic work?
I didn't get that.
Be quiet, be quiet, Siri. I'm not talking to you. Okay, not talking to Siri. So, do you know what makes magic work? You know, watching somebody on stage, I could just get amazed because you're watching one thing while they're doing another. They get expert at it. You're watching one thing.
The art of distraction.
There you go. The art of distraction. Yes. So that's what's going on in banking. It's the art. And I'm telling you, it is an art. The art of distraction. Look over here and not over there. We are taught to hate credit card interest, aren't we? Taught to hate it. Dwayne Johnson says, distraction, distraction. All right. So now if I pay this card off today, $10,000, if I pay that card off today, all right, based on what you see here, everybody, even credit cards, how much interest is that going to save me that I will not have to pay if I paid off that $10,000 today?
How much interest? $225.
Is that all?
That's it.
220. Listen, folks, at 27%, does it compute in your mind that that's all the money you're going to save by paying this card off? Even at 27% is only $225. What do you got to say? What do you got to say?
No, see, Don, you said the word compute.
Okay.
People are not computing. Again, they're only focusing on that 27%, but it's like, but what did you compute for you to conclude that that's a lot?
Ooh,
you know,
that is so good. So folks, did you do the math and figure out how much you were going to pay in dollars and cents? The answer is always, I just looked at the 27% and assumed it was a lot. I didn't do the math. And some of us don't know how to do the math. And the reason why is you were not taught in school. It is not taught in school. So, Credit Goddess, were you taught this in school?
Well, not about interest costs, but I did pay attention in algebra, though. That's how I came up with the formula. You know, because my teacher challenged us to do the work, you know, not to use the calculator, but show the work on how you got the calculation. If I did not pay attention to that, I don't think I would have learned how to do this right here, how to calculate amortization schedule. I wouldn't have done that.
So folks, now you're getting ready to learn something about opportunity cost. Here's the next thing. Opportunity cost. When you use your money one way, you can't also use it a second way because the money has been spent, right? And some of you feel good about the fact that I took $10,000 out. I paid that $10,000 off on that credit card, and it saved me the interest money, even though I don't know how much I just saved, but it made me feel good. Let me show you what just happened and the opportunity cost there. So if I take $10,000 and pay off this card, I save $225 I do not have to give the bank. But if I look at this, if I look at this mortgage over here, I'm changing back. If you want to see this, it's going to be amazing. If I take $10,000 and put it on this mortgage, do you know I knock off 4 payments I never have to make? Do you see how much interest we're talking about here? $24,000, $24,000. You see, folks, when we get the wrong information, it's not wrong by a little bit. It's wrong by a ton. So we are taught to believe that anything I do to get out of debt is as good as any other thing I can do to get out of debt. And it's not. By taking that $10,000, listen, if I were to ask anybody on the stage, okay, Eric, Kirk, Wanda, anybody on the stage, Coffee Brown, if I were to ask you, if I charged you $225, to show you how you can save $24,000 in interest on your loan, would you pay the $225?
You want me to send the cash out right now?
What's Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, PayPal link?
Look, get your mama to hand it to me. Is your mama swearing in me?
Come on now.
Passing in the offering plate. Shoot.
Listen, folks, it's the same doggone thing. You use the money from the credit card, and they want you to pay it back and the interest. So what if I say, no, let me pay you the interest, Visa, MasterCard, American Express. Let me pay you the $225 and let me take that money that I'm supposed to pay you and put it on this mortgage and save me $24,000. So there's a word for that. There's a word for that, real estate people on the stage. What is the word I'm looking for? What kind of play that we just pull off here? Eric, Wanda, Credit Goddess? Does that sound like arbitrage to you?
Oh, yes. Yes, that is arbitrage.
I just used somebody else's money. They charged me $225 to use their money. I put it on this loan to save me over 24 grand in interest and knock off 4 payments on this mortgage I never have to make. That's arbitrage all day long.
And how many months did we knock off that 300?
Oh, 4. We knocked off 4.
We knocked off 4.
4.
So, and I'm saying that to bring it back in full circle, because, you know, you're going to have some people say, well, will we see that money? Well, you actually knocked off 4 months of $6,000 payments. That's how you save. The whole goal is to pay off, right? So, you know, we have to piece everything together, because we're so focused on like the right now, and we're not thinking about the future and what we're actually working towards. So bring it back full circle. You say 4 months of not having to pay $6,000.
That is what we're talking about, folks. And the gurus, the ones that are supposed to be knowledgeable, they will ask you that question. Do you have the $24,000 in your pocket? No. But here's what you could tell them. The $10,000 in equity I just received, I got for free. I didn't have to pay $24,000 to get it. Boom. Come on. Are you hearing me today? Is this making sense to you? So, folks, with the information, what we're talking about, listen, somebody else gave me a call today, not too long ago. They called our company and interacted with our company and paid off a mortgage in record time. I just put on my Instagram today. Take 6 was in a rehearsal session. 2 members of Take 6 are on my program, are on the P.I.L.L method. We have some other celebrities.
Wait a minute, Don. Wait a minute.
What?
You know, I was born and raised in Detroit singing with them. Who are you talking about? You gonna DM me?
You mean the 2 members that are on the program?
That is my family. I haven't seen none of my music family in probably 30 years.
What?
I got out the industry, but I'll tell you about it later.
Listen, I'm
going to get back in.
We need to talk, because I have a video of one of the members who did a video for us, testimonial on from Take 6. That's on the program.
Don, can I ask a quick question?
Go right ahead, please.
Is this the Coffee Brown that sings after the party?
I am not them. Everybody gets me confused.
Girl, I was about to start singing. That's still in my phone.
But I mean, I can sing the song.
I'm sure you can. I just wanted to confirm. My apologies for disturbing your station.
We started a record label here in Houston, and we're gonna do a whole lot of music, because I'm actually a rap artist. I used to rap, and I stopped doing it. I got Don when my husband died, so I doing a lot of stuff. But I'm about to get started again now. I was rapping so hard yesterday, I got tired.
Use your gift, sis. Use your gift.
Oh, don't worry, it ain't for sale. I bought the truth, and I ain't gonna never sell it, so I'm good.
Listen, folks, I am so excited about this that we have another celebrity that's on that used our program and paid off their house in record time and made his wife feel a whole lot better. I need you to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas. That's right, E.T., the hip hop preacher. Come on, E.T., talk to us. Let's play
man,
it.
that's my mentor.
It's
Detroit in the building. I'm going on mute.
okay. Let's play it.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
So along with Eric Thomas, one of the members from Take Six who did a video for us is Alvin Chia. You remember him? Do you remember him, Coffee? He's the bass. It takes it. So he did a testimonial video for us. And then we are getting this information out here and it works. It absolutely works. And there's nothing more powerful on the planet than learning interest cancellation. That's what we're talking about today. So if you want to do what Eric Thomas did to bring some peace and harmony and security to his home front, then you want to go ahead. Let me put my card up I'm going to pin a new link up at the top, ice10k.com. Okay, ice10k.com. There we go. Let's see, ice10k.com. There we go. We're adding the link up there now. So go ahead and click on that link and get a savings and earnings report today. Get a savings and earnings report today. All right. You could know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you can save. All right. All right. Ann says she loves Take Six. All right. So she's watching us online she's on YouTube taking all of this in. So ladies and gentlemen, so if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free and how much interest you could save, then get a savings and earnings report. We're going to put that on the screen as well. So if you want to know, then you follow the directions, follow all of the directions, especially the one where you are putting in your cell phone number and verifying the cell phone number. When you click on verify that number, wait for the code to be sent to you. We're going to send it to you as a text message. Take the code, put the number back into the website, and then click on I want to save now. When you do that, then the program will let you into the financial form, put everything in. The average family has 13 different debts. We've seen it all, and the more debt, the better. You'd be surprised. Everything that you learn about debt is backwards. So the more debt you have in there, the faster you can get out of debt, believe it or not. Oh my gosh. Everything you've learned about this is backwards. Okay. So here's what we're going to do, folks. Get that. And then the interest you save on this is going to pay for your lifetime program, which is guaranteed for life. We're going to give you the numbers. That says you're going to be out of debt here in usually between 7 to 9 years, no matter how much debt you have. It's usually between 7 and 9 is the average. And we're going to tell you how much interest you save. And we're going to guarantee your results. Where else on this app or online, anywhere else, will they guarantee your results or your money back? And if you're wondering if that's true, you can do two things. Google P.I.L.L method or put it in Bing as a search engine All right. And see where we rank. Yeah. We rank higher than contraception. Yeah. Contraception is on page 2. You search P.I.L.L method, and you will not find one negative word about this program anywhere on the net for the past 17 years that we've been in business. What business can say that there's nothing negative about the business from people who have actually used the program? We got haters. Okay, we got plenty of haters, but none of them have used the program. So, folks, listen, go ahead and do that. And don't forget about the book. All right. Don't forget about the book. Get the book today, the P.I.L.L Method book today. Use number 3 on my card. Use the number 3 button on my card. You'll see it 1, 2, and 3. Click 3 and upload the receipt for the paperback book. And put in your address, and we will send you out. A signed copy of my book as well. So you're going to get 2. One is going to come from Amazon, and then my staff will send you out a signed copy of the same paperback book. Oh, yeah. So you end up getting 2 for 1. You need this information as you're comparing it with this masterclass you're getting today. So we're going to go do some introductions here. So Kirk the Bank Barnes and Eric Harras, would you like to introduce yourself while I get a drink of water? If you're available to introduce yourself, please flash the mic. Please flash the mic, folks, if you're available to introduce yourselves. All right, Coffee, go ahead and do a full introduction for us today.
Don, I can't do a full intro because it takes me about 30 minutes. I need to pull my Bible out, do the preach again. I can't do a full intro. I don't know how. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the day that the Lord has made. We choose to rejoice and be glad in it. And we say prosperity now come in the name of Yeshua, Jesus the Christ's name, we pray. Amen. So we speak life over this room today, that we receive the information, we accept it, and we go and pursue, for we all shall recover it all without fail. This year is the year of recovery for everyone under the sound of my voice. This is the year, but you got to go get your own recovery. Nobody gonna be responsible for it. If you want the wealth of the wicked that's laid up in store for the righteous, you will have to go get it. And it starts in this room by getting that book that Don has created. That book will deliver not only you, but everything and everyone attached to you. So if you consider yourself a believer, you should hold hands with the person next to you. If you're on the stage or on the platform, find out what they do and find out how you can be of service to them. We're all here together to be together, to hold each other up, to add value to each other. If you're not in a position to add value, I bet you know somebody that knows somebody who knows somebody, which means click on that button and share. Intellectual property costs you nothing but a click of a button. When you share, you also will receive the same blessings as everybody else just for sharing. It is so. It is so. And amen. I yield my mic.
Thank you very much. Any of the other moderators are available to introduce themselves. Flash your mic, please, because we want to hear from everybody who is on the stage. Folks, follow your moderators today, and I appreciate each and every one of you. We're going to get back to, before we get back to our what we're putting on the screen, I want to invite, there's some people in here right now. There's some people in here right now that see what we're talking about and believe it, and they want to share this with people they know. You can become a P.I.L.L Method affiliate for free by clicking on this link and looking at the 2 top buttons. Or the one on the left, become an affiliate. Fill it out, takes 30 seconds, and then tell us how you want to get paid. Fill it out for free and tell us how you want to get paid. So now, Don, I can't explain it like you. You don't need to. Just find someone who is tired of paying all this interest, tired of not getting out of debt, tired of their student loans or whatever they have that's hanging around like household pets. They're tired and they want to do better. Then point them to our YouTube channel and help them to watch some of those videos marked paying off your mortgage in 7 years. Send them there. Follow up with them in 24 to 48 hours, no longer than 48 hours. Follow up with them. If they want more information, don't try to explain any of this. Just fill out the second card. Fill out the second card. That's the referral card with their information, their name, their number, their email, and their zip code. That way we'll know what time zone they're in so we can call them. And then put a little bit more information in there if you can help us out with any information you think would be relevant to helping them get to where they want to go. All right. Especially a good time to call, that sort of thing. Put that all in there and then put your name as the referring agent. When that person becomes a client, when that business becomes a client, when that family becomes a client, we will send you $300 just for sending us a name. $300. Okay. 5 of those a month. Who can't use an extra $1,500 a month? Anybody can't use it? Okay. So this is what we're talking about. Help us help others. And I'm telling you, you will be blessed as well. So folks, we're going to jump right back in here. I want you to know today that in this masterclass, there are some things that you've been told that you really don't need to do because of how amortization actually works. Are you ready to learn more about how this works? Steve wants to come to the stage. All right. Invite him to Steve. Steve, man, come on up, man, and talk to us. All right. So what is it that you'd like to add to our session today? Stevie, you're talking. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir. We got you.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for the platform. God bless everybody. One quick question. If you was to liquidate the cards, how does that work in terms of your personal score just paying on the minimum balance? Wouldn't that make it drop?
Well, I could tell you, but I would be telling you what Credit Goddess taught me. Credit Goddess, are you available?
I am.
He wants to know about his credit cards. Did you hear the question?
No, I didn't hear the question. I missed it.
Steve, go ahead and ask your question again and let an expert talk to you about it.
Oh, how you doing? Wayne, my question is, if I did liquidate my cards and do that, how would that affect my personal credit score, even if I paid the minimum?
He's talking about paying them off. You talking about paying them off totally or what?
No. I was talking about, say if I had a limit of 10,000, I took the 10,000 off and applied it towards the mortgage.
We're not talking about that, sir. That's not that's not what I meant.
I'm sorry then.
I meant if you already had a $10,000 balance, okay, and you were able to pay that card off. Instead of paying it off, you could take that money and put it somewhere else that would do you more good.
Gotcha.
I am not saying, all right, go ahead and get a cash advance and put it on your mortgage. I am not saying that. That's enough information to get you in trouble. We have a whole plan. We have a whole program that tells you exactly what to do and when to optimize saving money. This class is not intended to give you instruction on how to do interest cancellation on your own. We're just helping you to understand the basics. Okay, Steve?
Yes, sir. Thanks.
All righty. So, folks, go ahead, Credit Goddess.
If he did that, if he didn't get clarification and he did that, it will drop your score. If you are pulling from your personal credit cards, your business credit card, because it doesn't report to your personal, it wouldn't affect your score. So just want to share that with you. Is what's on your personal credit report, because they do include the utilization that is part of your credit score is based on how much credit you have left. Liquidating that, if that's your only credit card, will put you at max and it will drop your score a good 165 points. So you don't want to do that. Because what I also find that people do is that if they have large lines of credit on their personal, and of course, we are bootstrapping, starting our business or getting into real estate. But what happens is that when you have maxed out your credit cards and you have no additional, monies to use towards your business, then people seek getting a credit card or a loan. But what ends up happening when you having to personally guarantee to apply for a loan or to apply for a credit card for your business, you're going to get denied because your credit score has dropped. You're overextended. What creditors like to see, especially if you're going to tap into business credit, is that your utilization is under 40%. The lower, the better. But you want to be at the threshold of 40% and above, and you don't want to have too many scattered debt, meaning like if you have a total of 7 credit cards and all of your credit cards have balances, that will be an indicator that you're over leveraged or you have debts all over, and they're going to feel as though that you're going to do the same on a personal on a business side. So it's best to bring at least 4 of those credit cards down to 0 and have a small balance on the other 3 of your credit cards. So there's different things that you have to look into. Again, so many of us look at the surface base, like front end, but we don't know what goes on the back end. So me being a broker, and I know what lenders and creditors want to see, I always encourage every single last one of you guys is to come to me. Come to me, let's talk about it. And I strategize. That's why I call myself a credit improvement strategist. We're going to strategize how we're going to tap into this bank and that bank and that bank. It's more than just, meeting the qualifications. Is on the back end too. That can also affect the maximum funding that you can get when you're ready to start your business. So just want to leave it at that.
Thank you very much, Craig. Guys, listen, folks, we've got a few minutes left on our day. It's a 2-hour show, and I'm going to give you some more game on how we need to pay attention to interest cost instead of interest rate. This is an interest cancellation masterclass. And when you understand interest cancellation, you will not make the mistakes that are commonly made because we're following the advice of experts. We've heard it for years. Here's the other one. I need to put this on the screen. I have a $500,000 loan on the $500,000 mortgage at 7%. And right now, here's what you're hearing. Marry the house, but date the rate. Meaning, if you can afford this payment, when the rates drop, and they will drop, refinance and get into the lower rate. I'm telling you, that is not an automatic. It's not automatic that you're going to be putting yourself in a better position. Most of my clients, if they have a 7% interest rate and they can afford the payment, you're better off with the 7% rate than you are at the 5% rate. Remember, everything that you've learned about this is backwards. Everything you learned about this, don't pay attention to it because they have not given you the numbers. You just assume that the 5% is better than the 7. Let me show you what we're talking about here. So at 5%, 7% on a $500,000 loan, here are the how the payment breaks down. $409.84 goes to principal. $2,916.67 goes to interest. Wow, Don. Here's what I need to tell you. 2 things. When it comes to interest cancellation, 2 things. When you control the principal payment, you control the loan. And interest payments I skip don't matter. When you control the principal payment, you control the loan. So let me show you what I mean by this. If you make that very first payment, okay? If you make that very first payment, then here's what we're talking about. $409.84 goes to principal, $2,900 went to interest. Now look at payment number 2. If you want to see this, folks, go to YouTube and you can see what I'm talking about. Search P.I.L.L method on a secondary device like your laptop or tablet, and you can see these numbers on screen. Click the live. All right. So on payment number 2, $412.23 goes to principal. What if, I'm just showing you, if you made payment number 1 and you paid the principal early for line 2. Let's say you paid, you make your January payment and February's principal payment is $412.23. If you prepaid all of that, the $412.23, it would all go to principal, and you would eliminate line 2 from your schedule, line 2, and it would save you $2,900 in interest you never have to pay. And your next mortgage payment for February would be on line 3 of this schedule. That's how it works. That's how it works. So let me show you what would happen if you were offered a 5% loan instead. Because some of you will, you're offered a refinance when the loan drops, or you're offered the ability to pay the bank extra money to lower the rate now. Let's say you could pay the bank $11,000 to lower the rate to 5% now. All right. It's not that you need the lower rate. You just want it. You don't need the lower payment. You just want it. That's going to be the distinction here. If you need the lower payment, then by all means, do what you have to do to get it. Okay. So here's what we're talking about. So we're going to show you what happens on a $500,000 loan. All I have to do is come up with $412 to eliminate one payment on the second payment. We're going to duplicate this tab. We're going to change the rate to 5% and then show you the payment. Ooh, the payment dropped to $26.84. All right. And I need you to take a look at the principal payment now. Look what happened to the principal payment. On this loan at 5%, if I want to get rid of one payment on this loan, I have to come up with $603 now, not the $412. So if I have the smaller principal payment, I'm in better control of this loan. So in 1 year, I need to show you now, I'm going to show you 1 year's worth of payments on this loan, 12 months worth. I will pay this loan down by $5,079 and a penny. Let's just say, now again, this is not my program, but I need you to see what would happen if you did do this. If you had the money available and you could prepay the $5,079 and knocked off 11 payments you never have to make and get here in 1 month, okay? You knock off 1 year's worth of payments and save $31,949.52. That's how much interest you save, okay? With $5,079. When you lower the interest rate, let me show you something. When you lower the interest rate, that $5,000 only takes about 8 or 9 payments off. The same $5,000 takes about 8 or 9 payments off instead of 12. The people who own the bank understand this very well. Not only that, but they're going to charge you $11,000 to get the lower interest rate. I need to show you what they just did now, and I need you to break this down totally. So they're going to give you pay $11,000 to get the lower interest rate. So now if you take the 7% loan, here's what the bank is looking for. And here's why it's this important, because 9 out of 10 people you know will never pay off a mortgage. Okay. So if that is the fact, let's I'm going to bring up my calculator. And here's what just happened. People who they've signed a mortgage to say, you're going to pay back $697,000 on this $500,000 loan, meaning that means that loan is really 139%, not 139. All right. So now the bank wants 697,000, and most people will pay that. Okay, or more. 543. Oops, I clicked the wrong button. Hold on. All right, 697,543.60. Okay. Now, the bank says you can do this loan. If you give us $11,000, we'll give you the lower interest rate. Okay. And here's what they did for just $11,000. Okay. You tell me if it makes sense. If I get the 5% loan, now over the 30 years, they want $466,279. So we're going to subtract that. Okay. We're going to subtract $466,279.60. We're going to subtract that. Folks, that is a difference of $231,000. $231,000. Does it make sense for the bank, who would lock you in at 7% if you could afford it, but offer you a lower interest rate for just $11,000 so they can lose $231,000? Does it make sense for them to do that? Listen, folks, if you had a business and somebody was working for you and they said, boss, listen, I got them to pay us $11,000, but overall, your business is going to lose $231,000, but I got you $11,000 up front. Would you fire that employee? I just need to hear it. Come on, talk to me.
Yep.
Why does the bank do that? They're only charging $11,000 so they could save $200. Listen, folks, they're going to make so much more money on that other loan because you came in there talking about, how can I get out of debt faster? So they're going to give you something that makes you think you're saving money and getting out of debt faster, when in fact, you just made the loan harder to pay off sooner and cheaper. That's
Smoke and mirrors, smoke and mirrors.
It is smoke and mirrors. It's always been that. And listen, and don't get fooled into getting anything less than a 30-year payment. Get a 30-year mortgage. What if we took this 5% loan and we're going to now duplicate this tab. We're going to take the new 5% loan that we just got, all right? And we're going to do something else. Not only did we pay to get the 5% loan, but we paid so we could get a 25-year loan instead. Okay? So let's get a 25-year loan instead of 300 payments. Or maybe we'll just go ahead and get it down to a 20. Ooh, okay. Let's go all the way to a 20. That's got to be better than a 30. So I'm going to put the calculator on the screen here. 20-year loan, 20 times 12. Okay. 20 times 12 is 240. So we got 5% at 240 months. Okay. So we're at 2684. And now we're at 32.99 because we got that 20-year loan. So we're going to be done in 20 years. All right. And now we take a look at the principal payment. We got 5%. Look at the principal payment now. Look at this. Did you see what they just did to you? They just doubled your principal payment. So now to get rid of one line, you got to come up with double the money. Who has double the money to get out of debt even faster? So all you're going to do is stay in the loan for 20 years and think, oh, it's better than the 30. But folks, if you had the 30 and you work with us, you'd be done in 7. That is what we're talking about. Why? Stop letting people give you the numbers on the front end without telling you the results of what happens on the back end. If you want to know why the bank offers you lower interest rates, why they offer you lower payment terms, why they're offering you a way to save money, because all you have to do is ask yourself this question: if I'm saving money, who's losing money? Just ask yourself that, and you'll be able to see what happens. Folks, I want to thank everyone for being here. Listen, we are going to have full master classes coming up in this year. Stay tuned, and we're going to make sure that you get the kind of information you deserve and what you're looking for. I want to thank everybody for being here today and all of the moderators. And we're going to say goodbye to everybody online right now, and then we're going to come back for our moderators to say goodbye to our Clubhouse audience. And folks, for all of you that are online, I will see you again on Wednesday. Don't forget the book. Don't forget to buy the book today and send in your information on how to get a second book for free signed by me. We'll see you later.